Hello everyone, this is Fantasy Ask, and welcome back to Season 2 of Luminous Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off last time, we had a very shocking breakup between Buttercup Dusk and Reed Daisy, the only adults in the clan who are able to breed at this point in time. But because of the various heartbreaks we've been having, obviously because of the deaths, these cats decided that no, even though the clan leader put them together to have a litter, they were not going to do it. They didn't want to. They couldn't accept it, especially Buttercup Dusk, who has been feeling so much emotional pressure from losing his father, losing the love of his life, losing the new mate that he was paired with Ratfur. So yeah, things happened and he decided to break it off. And Reed Daisy, she didn't see the point in arguing because she also kind of felt the same to him. And I think it did say they had a huge argument. I imagine Reed Daisy was trying to speak the way her father was expecting her to and reason why they should go ahead with it, but I don't think she believed in her arguments, and she really didn't fight it when Buttercup Dusk broke it off with her. But anyways, this time around, we are going to be seeing our apprentices age up into warriors, and then, of course, one of our new warriors are going to be chosen by Lyastar to have the new litter that the clan desperately needs to have. So let's go ahead, see what happens. Okay. Guys, I was really wondering, is now the time when we have officially run out of blood? Can we no longer breed within the clan? Must we get an outsider? No, not just yet. Not just yet. For a second there, I really thought we were going to, but not just yet. It could still end up in that direction, but not just yet. Okay, so let's skip a moon and see what our cats get up to. With a heightened focus of the clan, 12 additional pieces of prey were gathered. Bubbling Gale praises the beauty of Chirp Clan's territory at length during the gathering. Chirp Clan's leader questions whether Bubbling Gale is hinting that he'd like to steal some of it for Luminous Clan. Relations have worsened. Let's go ahead and try to praise Shade Clan. Okay, so yeah, Bubbling Gale, our Medicine Cat, was the one who went to the last gathering because both our deputy and leader were down. Thankfully, now our deputy's back up, Slumber Roach. Okay, Slumber Roach will always feel his grief, but time has softened it at least a little. Right, Greasewipe travels to Shade Clan to resolve some recent personal disputes. The meeting goes better than expected, and Greasewipe returns with a plan to solve the issue for good. Okay, and then let's see. Lyastar stands above the clan and proclaims that Stonepaw shall now be known as Stone Speck, honoring her pragmatism. Okay, that's kind of nice. So Stone Speck. As the clan, she is for the new warrior, Burrowcrawl. Burrowcrawl? I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about that. Bubbling Gale purrs loudly. His kit is finally a warrior. A new journey has begun for Burrowcrawl, and Bubbling Gale knows that Burrowcrawl's cunning will lead her through anything. Rowanpaw sits in the front of the leader, tail twitching back and forth as he awaits his warrior name. He's eager for this ceremony to be done so he can go back to work and make sure the clan is safe. Finally, Lyastar looks down upon him and names him Rowan Pelt after his cunning. And Rowan Pelt, he is the favorite child of his parents. So, yeah, I don't know how his back is going, but if he died, I think that would be really heartbreaking for his parents. Cloudpaw's shock is gone. Plumraven can hardly believe how quickly time has passed since Cloudpaw was a kit. It still feels like just yesterday that she was tumbling around the nursery chasing after a moss ball or some other cat's tail. Misty-eyed with pride and joy, Plumraven throws her head back and tries to cheer the loudest as Cloudpaw is named Cloudfur and honored for her realism. Okay, Shadowpaw stands before the leader. She should be happier, but as she's given her warrior name, Shadow Swirl, in honor of her strength, she casts a look to the crowd. She wishes that Slopefleck could be there to see her now. Right, obviously she wishes that Slopefleck could be there to see her last leader. If only, I think, to prove that Plumestripe, her original mentor, trained her well, because I feel like Shadowpaw would have been very loyal to Plumestripe. So, okay, and we know that Shadow, like Slopefleck, hated Bloomstripe and resented him and celebrated his death. Imagine how Shadowswell would have felt having to stomach that, having to accept the cat that hated her mentor's guts as a new mentor. But I don't think she would have been happy when Slopefleck died, you know? Yeah. Okay, so thankfully Rowan Pelt seems okay so far, but let's take a look at our kitty cats. I want to see how they look. Okay, Stone Speck actually looks like a very lovely cat. She is now responsible. Okay, responsible, a great teacher, and natural intuition. That is amazing, Stone Speck. It's kind of sweet because even though Ratfa didn't take her across the finish line, Ratfa was a great teacher, and now Stone Speck is a great teacher, and she's responsible. I love that. Finally, like her insecurity left. She was able to overcome it in the very end. But let's see what... Oh, it does acknowledge Ratfa, which I love. I didn't realize it would acknowledge 2 mentors if your cat had 2 mentors. That makes sense. Okay, let's see how she was influenced by them. She was mentored by Ratfa and Plumraven. Ratfa influenced her to be more likely to make their own rules. Plumraven influenced her to be more likely to use words over teeth and claws and adapt easily. Words over teeth and claws and adapt easily. Ratfa helped her become better at teaching. Plumraven helped her become better at teaching as well. When she graduated, she was honored for her pragmatism. Okay, that's so nice. Even though it took a lot longer for Ratfa and then later on Plumraven to take Stone Speck out of the insecurity compared to Night Ember, who did it really quick, they still won out in the end because they were able to imbue a sense of responsibility in her. And actually, I think the greatest lesson Stone Speck would have had regarding responsibility would have been her mentor Ratfa dying in that patrol because she was trying to protect Stone Speck's sister Shadowswell. I think that would have taught her the meaning of responsibility, because her mentor felt responsible for her sister's life and therefore put herself in front of the rogues so that her sister could get away. But okay, I love that, Stone Speck. And then we have Burrowcrawl, who needs a name change, I think. I like these 2 words, but not together. Burrow Ivy? Burrow Ivy. That seems like a nice name. Burrow Ivy. Oh my goodness, it looks odd. Burrow Ivy. That looks odd written together. Burrow Pelt? We have a pelt. Burrow Speckle? We have a speckle, don't we? I think we have Stone Speckle. Burrowclaw. Burrowshine? What about Burrowshine? Okay, Burrowshine works. Visually, it makes sense to me as well. So Burrowshine, let's have a look. She has maintained her sneakiness, but she's got helpful insight and is a fast runner. She looks like fire. And look at that claw wound. She's got that claw wound. Where is she? Yeah, she's got the scar from fighting a trespassing rogue that she wasn't supposed to, but she didn't want to listen to her mentor. So let's see how she was influenced. She was mentored by Reed Daisy. Reed Daisy influenced her to be more likely to dwell on things and step out of their comfort zone. When she graduated, she was honored for her cunning. Okay, yeah, I think Burrowshine, the stepping out of the comfort zone, I mean, there can be times when a mentor has influenced an apprentice, not because of what they've said, but because of how their relationship was. Like, Burrowshine spent a lot of her time not listening to Reed Daisy, and I feel like therefore she was influenced in this relationship to step out of her comfort zone and run out of the medicine den when she was supposed to be recovering, fight the rogues when she was supposed to just be watching the rogues. So I kind of like that for Burrowshine. I like that. And then we have Rowan Pelt over here, who is fierce. Okay, so he's gone from being bloodthirsty to being fierce. I think that accident with his back really kind of cut down his bloodthirst because he realized that there are things in life he cannot fight. And if you cannot fight, then what is the point of it all? So he's fierce and a talented swimmer. Let's see how he was influenced by his 2 apprentices. This is kind of interesting. I thought he was mentored by Gracewipe consistently. But it says here, it mentions Gracewipe and Buttercup Dusk. So I don't know, I find this very fascinating. He was mentored by Gracewipe and Buttercup Dusk. Gracewipe influenced him to be more likely to avoid violence. Buttercup Dusk influenced him to be more likely to be resilient. Buttercup Dusk helped him become better at swimming. When he graduated, he was honored for his cunning. Okay, that is very, very intriguing. I mean, Gracewipe has been his mentor from the beginning, but I think there might have been a couple moons when Gracewipe was out of it. Like, she wasn't in a good state to go out and do stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how that came to be, but I like it. It's very interesting. It's very, especially because Buttercup Dusk already had another apprentice. But I guess he took time out to tend to Rowan Pelt. So I like that. That's actually very, very nice. So yeah, Gracewipe, like we said, she definitely was able to cull down his bloodthirst into a fierceness that serves as a better tool. And Buttercup Dusk probably kept checking in on him to encourage him and keep him like fighting this wound he has, this broken back, and kind of keeping him mentally strong and more resilient. So I really do like that. Okay, and then, oh wait, but you know, I want to take a look at how he is when he is healthy. Oh, pretty! So that's how he looks when he's healthy. That's actually very nice. He's got like a reddish brown fur with like this kind of, I don't know, a gradient? Yeah, he's got a bit of a gradient. I don't know if I'd call that black or gray, but you know. Has got an interesting fur. Okay, it looks nice though. Then we have Cloud Fur. She's pretty. She's quite pretty. And she has, no wait, she was sneaky. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Burrowshine ended up sneaky. She was strict. Okay, I thought she maintained a sneakiness because I remembered one sneaky child. But no, Burrowshine, guys, was actually strict and has since ended up being sneaky. You know what? Okay, we need to revisit her story. But I think this sneaky trait comes in because beforehand, when she was strict, she would strictly not listen to, or I suppose, you know, she was strict, her mentor was childish, so I think a lot of the times, Burrowshine, she overlooked what her mentor was saying. Like, she didn't take a lot of Reed Daisy's advice to heart, and that's the reason why she used to sneak out of the Medicine Cat and sneak out of camp to fight rogues, because she thought she knew better than Reed Daisy. But I think after her incident with the claw wound, which almost killed her, I think that's when Burrowshine got a very important lesson, and she realized that instead of charging into battle, she has to be smarter about it, and she has to be more sneaky. And I think that's why she developed sneaky. Okay, good. But Cloudfur is the one who was sneaky as a youngster, and she has maintained her sneakiness, and she's now a good kid sitter. Okay. And yeah, Buttercup Dusk was her mentor, but it's kind of interesting that he took time out to also mentor Rowan Pelt a little bit. So Cloudfur, let's see, she was mentored by Buttercup Dusk. Buttercup Dusk influenced her to be more likely to be friendly towards others and break rules that don't suit them. When she graduated, she was honored for her realism. Okay, so it's kind of interesting how she stuck to her guns pretty much. And I feel like her sneaky personality also worked a little bit in rankings, because Cloudfur was never the kind of cat that stood out in terms of ability and personality, but she was able to take advantage of the situation and climb the ranks depending on like where her siblings were or how far they'd fallen or what they'd gotten caught up with. Like, she found cracks in the system, you know, and she crawled up slowly, so that's kind of interesting. But Buttercup Dusk, yeah, I can totally see Buttercup Dusk encouraging her to be friendly to everyone. And, I mean, yes, breaking the rules that don't suit them, probably just like Buttercup Dusk wasn't actually mentoring Rowan Pelt, but he still went out of his way to kind of take Rowan Pelt under his wing, especially emotionally. And Cloudfur knows that that is something she can do, even if she didn't feel the need to necessarily when she was younger, but she might now that she's older. Interesting. And then we have Shadow Swirl. I love her name. She's got such a pretty name. Shadow Swirl. Is still responsible, has maintained her responsibility, incredible runner and good speaker. Let's see, yeah, she's got history with a lot of mentors, so let's see how this influenced her. She was mentored by Plumestripe, Slopefleck, and Lyrestar. Plumestripe influenced her to be more likely to refrain from socializing and break away from the status quo. Lyrestar influenced her to be more likely to step out of their comfort zone and use teeth and claws over words. Lyrestar helped to become better at running. When she graduated, she was honored for her strength. Okay, so she didn't really get to learn anything from Slopefleck. A lot of it was from Plumestripe and then in the last moon from Lyrestar, but that's kind of nice. It makes sense, like, with her refraining from socializing, breaking away from the status quo. I mean, Shadowswirl from the get-go was never trying to compete with her siblings for rankings. She did graduate as best of her batch, despite the constant changes to her mentors, but I think that came from her just focusing on herself and being responsible for herself. And the whole refraining from socializing, I think it was more like getting caught up in cliques and messing around. That's something that Shadowswirl didn't really ever engage in, and it makes sense because she maintained her responsibility. But also, I think Plumestripe through that would have taught her not to get too attached to him. And I think this is especially apparent in that moment where Plumestripe was talking with Shadowswirl and like when he knew he was dying and trying to figure out the next steps for her so that she's able to complete her final moons as apprentice as best as possible. And I don't think that would have been possible if Shadowswirl was very attached to Plumestripe. So that was kind of what she got from Plumestripe. And then under the clan leader, Lyrestar, stepping out of a comfort zone, being under Lyrestar's mentorship and Slopefleck would have been out of her comfort zone, but she still did it. And especially the incident where these two survived that very scary patrol and they came back to camp with their lives, I think that would have been the lesson from Lyrestar that we need to use our teeth and claws over words when it comes to situations like these. We need to fight. And obviously, like, they kind of ran back to camp, so he helped to become better at running. How interesting. I love the way the cats have ended up. That is actually so cool and so nice, and I love all their names. Stonespeck, Burrowshine, Rowanpelt, Cloudfur, and Shadowswirl. Okay, and do they have the... Yes, the second prophetic bloodline. Okay. So let's go back to events, guys, and see what is going on here. What's happening in events with our kitty cat. That was a lot of discussion, but it's fun. We had a lot to discuss. Okay, relationships. Let's take a look. Bubbling Gale includes Stonepaw in a conversation that Stonepaw struggled to join. Bubbling Gale realizes that he misunderstood something Shadowpaw said. Darkpounce suspects that Rowanpaw gets special treatment. Darkpounce is letting Burrowpaw share her troubles with her, hoping she'll feel better afterwards. Lyrestar feels a little safer when Shadowpaw joins him in the clearing. Plumraven won't give up a warm, sunny spot for Lyrestar, not even for a minute. Slumberroach points out a constellation to Greyswipe. Slumberroach, Buttercup, Dusk, and Greyswipe had a nice talk while eating. Shadowpaw thanked Slumberroach for bringing her food. Slumberroach purrs for a long time at one of Greyswipe's lame jokes. Greyswipe is asking Lyrestar interesting questions. Greyswipe called Shadowpaw the wrong name. Plumraven sees Slumberroach whispering suspiciously to a clanmate. Reed, Daisy, and Darkpounce try to say tongue twisters. Buttercup Dusk sees Slumberroach stand up for a clanmate despite the pushback from his peers. A clanmate tells Stonespeck, so they had their apprenticeship ceremonies at this point. A clanmate tells Stonespeck that Greyswipe stories are better. Burrowshine likes to sit near Buttercup Dusk during conversations. Cloudpaw helps Rowanpelt get a thorn out of his paw. Stonespeck makes a crude remark about the clan to Cloudfur. Shadowswirl and Reed Daisy often look at each other and smile knowingly about something. Okay, so that's all we have for events. I'm gonna cut the recording here and we're gonna continue with the cat list. It is time for us to continue with the cat list. And actually, just before we dive in, I realized that I didn't go through the medicine cat den, so let me do that real quick, guys. Let's see, so Plumraven has heat exhaustion, Rowanpelt has the broken back, Dark Pounce was given Poppy as treatment for grief-stricken. Lystar was given Poppy as treatment for grief-stricken. Slumber Roach was given Poppy as treatment for grief-stricken. His grief got better. Plum Raven was given Ragwort as treatment for heat exhaustion. They will heal. Reed Daisy was given Poppy as treatment for grief-stricken. Rowan Paw was given Ragwort as treatment for broken back. They'll be less likely to die. Cloudpaw was given Ragwort as treatment for shock, and then her shock is gone. So that's what we have going on for now. Okay, let's continue with the cat list. So in terms of loyalties, nothing has changed. It is all the same. We still have Grey Swipe, Reed Daisy, Stone Speck, and Dark Pounce, who are loyal to Lystar. Now, I jumped into relationships and I noticed one big change, and it was in Lystar. So Lystar, guys, we know that he hates Plum Raven, but he actually legitimately hates Bubbling Gale now, and I think we know why. It is because he is, like, he's pissed off, really, at Bubbling... Was he paired with Plum Raven? I think he was mated with Plum Raven, wasn't he? Hold on a second, guys. Who are your parents? Yes, Plum Raven and Bubbling Gale. Okay, that is hilarious. But I think we know why he hates Plum Raven and Bubbling Gale. He hates them for breaking up because after they broke up, Bubbling Gale got together with Slopefleck. And then Slopefleck died, and Lystar went through this immense heartbreak, realizing that Slopefleck was the one and only love of his life that was taken away from him by Bubbling Gale. And through Bubbling Gale, Plum Raven, because she kind of was okay with letting go of him. I think she was the one that broke it off with him. So, yeah. Lystar does not like these two cats. So they have to keep an eye out. Yeah. I've got that going on. Now, that aside, we were also talking about the fact that once our apprentices, our warriors, Lystar is going to pick one of them to have, like, the next litter, right? With either Reed Daisy and Buttercup Dusk. Now, Buttercup Dusk obviously has the double prophetic bloodline, and if he's paired up with any of these new females, then their children will have a triple prophetic bloodline, which is ideally what the clan wants. But also, Lystar is kind of worried about his bloodline, and also he's worried about his grieving daughter, Reed Daisy, and he kind of wants to get her out of her grief and have her focus on something else. So guys, Lystar has decided that he is actually going to pair up his daughter Reed Daisy with Rowan Pelt and permit a litter from the two of them. So let's go ahead, and unlike Reed Daisy and Buttercup Dusk, who were an incompatible pair, childish and playful, she and Rowan Pelt are apparently compatible, childish and fierce. So this is going to be a thing that Lystar permits, and we're also going to go ahead and allow for kits between these two. Now, I don't know how well this is going to go, obviously, because Rowan Pelt has that broken back, and I feel like he is constantly at risk of dying. And if he did die, then I feel like that would be just something else to crush Reed Daisy. So Lystar, to be honest, has made a long line of questionable decisions, and this is just another one of those, you know? If he was smart, he would pair Buttercup Dusk up with one of the females and get that triple prophetic bloodline, but he's not thinking like that. He's just wanting to get his daughter out of her grief at this point. And also, I think, is a bit selfish in wanting to continue his own family line, which has, nothing of importance. But I suppose this way he'll be able to tie his family line to a single prophetic bloodline, the second one. So, okay, we have that done. Let's quickly dive into a mediation between the two. So we have a Reed Daisy and Rowan Pelt. So we'll mediate over here. So Rowan Pelt already feels quite secure with Reed Daisy, and I suppose also this is some companionship for Rowan Pelt, who I feel like ever since his apprenticeship days, because he broke his back early on, has been kind of isolated from everyone. So, okay, he feels very secure with Reed Daisy now. Respect, romantic interest, trust, comfort increased, jealousy, dislike decreased. So we'll see how the two of these guys go going forward. Right now it seems as though Rowan Pelt kind of likes Reed Daisy more than Reed Daisy likes him. I feel like for her, she's kind of just going along with her father's decisions, just like she went along with her father's decision to pair up with Buttercup Dusk. But unlike that situation, Rowan Pelt actually really likes her, so we'll see how this works out. But okay, that's what we have between the two of them. Now let's go ahead and see what everyone is up to for the day. Lystar saw a pair of two legs near camp today. Slumber Roach saw a kitty pet with the fluffiest fur imaginable today. Bubbling Gill is feeling motivated. Grey Swipe saw a kitty pet rolling around a two-leg garden. Plum Raven wants to go hunt. Reed Daisy had a nice chat with Alona outside clan territory. Buttercup Dusk is playing tag with cats around camp. Stone Speck volunteers to lead a patrol. Look at her, being so responsible. Burrowshine has the apprentices very engaged in a very, very tall tale. I'm imagining this is probably maybe something she did in the gathering. Like maybe she went on the last gathering and she was talking to other apprentices about tales. Either that or she's dreaming. Maybe she's dreaming of when she has her own apprentice. Perhaps. And unlike her mentor, maybe she'll keep them engaged. Okay, Rowan Pelt is debating swimming to cool down. Cloudfur is worrying about asking Bubbling Gill for help for something minor. Shadow Swirl can't get anything done with this heat. And Dark Pounce is craving the taste of fish. Okay, so we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cats that won't be able to go with us. So let's see how they go. Okay, let's send... Oh, geez, no. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I need to cut the recording, guys. I need to cut the recording. I kind of jumped the gun there. Because I don't want... I like cutting the recording in case, like, it stretches too long and then I can split it up into separate episodes. But I don't think we'll have that problem for now. I don't think we will. Okay, let me cut the recording. We'll continue with patrols in a second. Okay, we are back after I jumped the gun. We can now resume patrols. But we'll send out the medicine cat first of all and see what he gets up to. So it seems as though we are just going to have a patrol of 6 with adult cats. So hopefully they're going to stay safe. Okay. Slumber Roach finds a kitty pet who is interested in joining the clan. He banters with the cat a bit, making them feel more welcome. Proceed. Slumber Roach doesn't have to do much convincing. The kitty pet seems happy to join the clan. Tammy has joined the clan. Your clan's reputation towards outsiders has improved. Okay, so I think... this is obviously an outsider cat who has been compelled to come into the mountain. So we are kind of helping to guide him safely through the mountain to where the lightless cats are, so that this new cat doesn't kind of wander inside the tunnels of the mountain on their own. So let's see. Okay, a female cat with heather blue eyes, very pretty. But I want to kind of change her name. Freeze? Yeah, we'll change her name. Freeze seems nice. Freeze. She looks frozen. Freeze. Freeze? Yes, Freeze looks frozen. Okay. Let's go ahead and help guide her to the other lightless cats. There we go. Now she's joined everyone else. Good to know. And also, look at these youngsters. The kittens we found beforehand and we helped to guide. One of them has passed away at this point. But these ones, they've kind of grown up a little bit. But you know, also, the lightless cats, they are like the... they're like the backup genetics for when we reach the point where we can no longer breed within the clan itself. They're the backup genetics. So, yeah. Okay, we have that. Thankfully, nothing too scary, and now we're sending these guys out. But currently, we have 128 prey. We need 35.5. Okay, Shadow Swirl, Cloudfur, Burrowshine, Stone Speck, Buttercup Dusk, and Bubbling Gale. Let's see how these guys go. And also, I think Bubbling Gale would be the patrol leader here. Let's see. Yes, he is! Oh! Darn it! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I sent... Darn it! Ugh. You guys probably were screaming at me and I didn't even notice. Bubbling Gale is the medicine cat, not Slumber Roach. Ugh, not Slumber Roach. I completely forgot. I thought Slumber Roach, I still had it in my head that Slumber Roach was the medicine cat. He's the flippin' deputy. Bubbling Gill is the medicine cat. Oh no, it's okay. It's fine. I mean, I wanted them to have a safe patrol this time around, and I guess they lucked out on a safe patrol. Okay, Greenleaf encourages the oak to reach its full potential, wide and towering, and Bubbling Gill goes to collect a harvest of its leaves, taking a patrol with him to make the task easier. Proceed. The shade of the oak tree makes the ground beneath it cool, which bodes well for harvesting its leaves. The warriors flex their talents, and Bubbling Gill encourages them as they show off their climbing skills and break off twigs, sending the leaves down to Bubbling Gill. The warriors eye a nearby elder tree and dare one another to race to the top. Elder leaves and oak leaves were gathered. Okay, so we had a peaceful patrol because I screwed up. I completely forgot that Slumber Roach was now the deputy and Bubbling Gill was now the medicine cat. My bad, but that is okay. At least all the new warriors had like a peaceful day out patrolling, and we didn't have any freaky incidents happen. Okay, guys. With that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.